You're listening to Poetry Slam with Bellz.
And I'm TayDZ.
Tay, we've got to start with our signature slam segment. The prompt is. You know the prompt because you came up with that.
I did?
Yeah, it was inspired. The prompt is, what are you allergic to?
I forgot. Yeah, yeah. When spring first starts, you see people's cars are just green. All that pollen on people's cars just starts collecting. In my mind, I'm like, dag, people really just driving around with pollen on their car. Like they're a literal speeding allergen. That's really ridiculous.
Okay, so since it's your prompt, you can start.
See, this is
What are
what
you allergic to?
That's what K-Bellz likes. She likes to, have her victims swimming in the water first. But let me go.
Set the tone.
Oh, macadamia, sweet macadamia. You grow on trees next to a wonderful company. Oh, pine nut, wonderful earth. Your beautiful, beautiful soul is covered in secrets, crazy, dark secret. Oh, wonderful almond, sweet, decadent. You create the milk that people drink and the paste that people love to intake, and yet you are my sworn enemy. You and the rest of your ilk pain me so. TayDZ.
I need these allergies to be mowed down, like the grass outside my lawn. I'm tired of the sneezing and coughing. Once I heard, it's not what's on the outside, it's what's on the inside that counts. Well, I'm tired of wearing my beauty on the outside. I want it back inside. No more sneezing and coughing, no more sniffling and eye watering. I need to stay contained because kept is cute to me. Okay, Bells.
It's nice that your allergies are cute. Oh, so adorable. Oh, itchy, watery eyes. That's like a baby in a stroller going down the street. You tickle his chin and go, ooh, who has the itchy eyes? You do. You do. Oh, who has puffy cheeks? You do. You do. For me, when a macadamia touches my hand, I do indeed itch. It severely, severely makes me break out. Oh, if it touches my eye starts to feel like 1,000 poison ivy leaves have rubbed against it. Oh, but when it touches my throat, oh man, the inside of my throat goes, we're closed for business. And suddenly it begins to contract and restrict. Oh, feels like I have a lump in my throat. It's not fun. Take it easy.
I'm allergic to the guy who leaves the restroom and doesn't wash his hands. I mean, that same guy who's peeing in the alley, who pees in public, who pees in the parking garage, you didn't wash your hands. I'm allergic to that guy. I'm allergic to the lady who chews too loud. Please move along. Don't sit next to me because I can hear everything going through your mouth. I'm allergic to the person who doesn't text back for 3 weeks, even though that's sometimes me. I'm allergic to anything that bores me but must take up space on my to-do list because those things worry me. I'm allergic to worries. It's giving me hives, it's giving me rashes, it's making me sweat, and I'm just tired of all of these freaking allergies. Okay, Bellz.
Allergic to the person that texts 3 hours later. Allergic to worry, allergic to anxiety, my friend. Those are what we call. Mm, mm. Those are what we call airborne allergens. You can't really get rid of those until you wash them off. You must cleanse yourself of the 3 hour waiter. You must cleanse yourself of the nasty person in the alley. You must cleanse yourself of your worries. Unfortunately, those allergens come back to haunt you once you get back out the house. But once you're back inside, you can take a shower. Wash off those worries, wash off the stress. Lay down and enjoy your time of being allergen free. Unfortunately, outside contains a lot of your specific TayDZ.
I'm allergic to whoever wears their ugly on the outside, and I think not having manners. I think being very rude, no pleases, no thank yous, no speaking when you enter a room. I think all of those are ugly behaviors. I think to sneeze out all of the ugly things that I do, which include cutting people off on the road, sometimes turning too short, sometimes honking my horn when the person doesn't move fast enough. I want to become allergic to ignoring the person on the sidewalk asking for $1 because I get all of these icky feelings of I'm so tired of being hustled. I want to become allergic to not being grateful. So the fact that I can give and I just choose not to because everywhere I go, it feels like there's solicitation. I'm in the parking lot. I'm walking in the store. I'm inside the store. I'm walking out the store. I'm trying to get in the car and I'm victimized by that guy who saw me. I saw him and then he saw me in a vulnerable place putting things in the back seat. And he walks up behind me and says, "Hey, do you want to buy my new tees?" No, thank you. I'm allergic. I'm allergic to whatever you're selling. But you know what? In my list of allergies, I don't want a lack of awareness. I want to continue being aware of the things I can do to improve me. Okay, Bellz. Okay, thanks, Tay. That was so fun. That was a great prompt. Okay, you're listening to Bell.
Whoa. The audio went so crazy there for a second. Wait a minute.
Okay, you're listening to Poetry Slam with Bellz.
And your boy TayDZ.
I don't know why my audio sounds crazy to you.
I don't know.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. It was just that one moment. It was
Oh,
that
okay.
one specific moment. I was like, whoa.
So we have to get on to our special segment that's unique to our hour, which is K and Tay debate. I came across an article on Wired written by somebody named Jason Parham, and he was questioning why the voices of Black Twitter were worth saving. So my question to you, TayDZ, was Black Twitter ever a cultural shift? Because that's what Jason, I believe, is arguing in his perspective of Black Twitter. What Jason says is that he began to chronicle Black Twitter in 2021. He charted its rise, power, and what he felt was an unquestionable cultural impact. He feels Black Twitter is more than a community. It is the breeding ground for so many hashtags like Oscars So White, Black Girl Magic, Black Lives Matter. Here's one for you, Me Too. It sort of became a bed for all things news and analysis, he says. Call and response, judge and jury, comedy showcase, therapy session, family cookout, all in one is how he described Black Twitter. It was most significant in the 2010s. It was very popping during the Drake and Kendrick Lamar beef. I'm wondering if the beef is still going on. I mean, I don't think Kendrick's going to have the last word, but of course, people on Twitter, now X, we're talking about it there. So it's sort of this question of, do we agree with Jason Parham on the fundamental question, was Black Twitter a cultural shift? And then we can decide whether or not it's worth saving.
Black Twitter, cultural shift? Black people are a cultural shift. Like, anything we become a part of, we change it fundamentally. That's just what we do. Sports, we fundamentally changed it. You know, politics fundamentally changed it. Civil rights fundamentally changed it. You know, academics fundamentally changed it. Social media is no different. Music fundamentally changed it to the point where they even had to attribute things that Black people made to white people. So yeah, we it was a cultural shift because we became a part of it. The thing about Black Twitter is that Black Twitter was like.
I heard you say that. I heard you say utters.
Oh, I'm sorry. Black X. Black Elon's ego trip is it made a lot of things, you know, especially like all the hashtags you just mentioned. Black Lives Matter, you know, Me Too was started by Black women, which once again, thank you Black women for starting things that you don't get credit for. You know, these things, and especially Black women were like some of the main progenitors of why Black Twitter is so.
Jada Pinkett Smith, Oscars are so white.
Even just matter of fact, even like the whole Jada Will stuff was funny because Black Twitter got a hold of it, you know.
So many memes came from Black Twitter. And then there was the conversation of, if you're using Black memes, that is a form of blackface.
I don't.
If you're not Black using Black memes, there was an argument that that's a form of blackface.
Which I don't formally agree with, only because there are memes from other cultures that I use, and I don't think I'm putting on yellow face or brown face or whatever, but, you know, debates definitely started on Black Twitter, you know? And just to even give myself a personal, like my own like personal ties to Black Twitter, sports Twitter, like football Twitter, basketball Twitter wouldn't be as funny. Like Black Twitter has a lot of like crossover. And a lot of the funniest elements that you see in a lot of like social media, like they're made by Black Twitter. Like anime Twitter is only funny because Black Twitter got a hold of it. because black people, the only thing we love more than talking about things is roasting things. Black people love roasting things. So one of the funniest nights on Twitter has to be for those who watch basketball. If you remember the 2020 NBA bubble, and if you remember, it was a weird time, but the 2020 NBA bubble playoffs, when the Clippers, after that whole season of hype, Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, and they lost to the Denver Nuggets in the playoff series. I don't think I've ever been part of a funnier moment in my life when that slander session came on and all of Black Twitter converged onto NBA Twitter and formed the greatest internet roast session ever. Playoff P became Pandemic P. You know, Doc Rivers got slandered. You know, what's their names? RDC World came in with their sketch. Like, Black Twitter did that on sports Twitter. It was one of the funniest things. So yeah, no, Black Twitter is one of the funniest spaces on the internet, and Black Twitter has helped make a lot of other spaces funny.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think the most fun I've ever had on Twitter was when I enjoyed Black Twitter during Love Island season. Before they moved Love Island from like regular
Mm-hmm.
broadcast TV, like
Mm-hmm.
CBS, and put it on a streaming service. Like it was coming on at the same time every night. So like everybody was on Twitter at that same time watching the show at the same time, and we would all talk and like make jokes and everything like that. So it would be like just so fun to be a part of that, and just to, I guess, have your comments noticed as well, because everybody's looking
Mm-hmm.
at that time. So I definitely miss that about TV. First of all, like that's what I miss about just regular TV, not streaming something online, but the fact that so many other people are watching something at the same time as you, and then going on Twitter, just a talk app where anybody in the world who's watching with you can react to it, you can laugh. Like it made commercial breaks so
Mm-hmm.
much funnier. So Black Twitter, I definitely think, is a time capsule. And one thing I wish about the internet, not just Twitter, was that you can more easily find things people have written. Like if you, it's like impossible to search for a tweet. Like if you tried to go back and find some of those tweets from that moment that you're talking about, it would be really hard. Like unless you remember some of those accounts, or unless you like tried to use the hashtag and just went all the
Yeah.
way back. But it's like hard to
Mm-hmm.
recover tweets. Like you have to screenshot it, you have to put it in a video, otherwise it's like gone forever. So that's kind of what I like about what Jason has made, like Black Twitter, a people's history. It seems that he's made a sort of a documentary series of Black Twitter, some of the greatest tweets, or like some of the tweets we could recover, and just people talking
Mm-hmm.
about like what a great space that was before it changed, and just the simplicity of it was nice. Like just thinking, like we were talking earlier before the show, and people would tweet basic things like "I'm on the toilet," and now like there's poetry, and then like there are like other subcultures of Twitter on there now, but the vibe on X is just different. And like there's nothing around now to fill the void of what Twitter was.
Mm. Yeah, there. You know, there's just something. There's something about the way Black people talk about things.
Yeah, I mean, I also feel like Twitter popularized the African American vernacular English as well. Like I feel more people wanted to, just seeing it written, like when you say it, that's one thing, because we are like a talking culture. Like that is more fundamental for Black culture, I feel, than, I'm just going to compare it to white culture because that's what I live in. But like we're an oral like people, you know, we still talk a lot. Like that's very fundamental for us. And like even with this documentary that this guy's making, he sort of captures that. It's reporting the oral
Mm.
history of Black Twitter. But what I'm saying is, it's different when you say something, you know how it sounds, but to actually see our slang written out, it's like, okay, we have to agree on how to spell this, and like there are different spellings, but you also have to like get what the person means, like "child please." You know, I feel before I saw that written, I'd never even thought about how it was spelled because I'd only ever heard it before I read it on Twitter. Or when people would say your
Mhm.
mother, like, oh, how would you spell mother? Oh, Muva. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I really feel like, oh, I really feel like, you know, how do I put it? I don't know if the power, you know, dang, I'm trying to figure out how to put this because I even think it was just Twitter that just sort of expanded our slang. It just in general, black people say things and it becomes popular over time. Like even
And oop,
yeah,
famous
like
meme.
we have even talked about like gay black culture, like making a lot of slang, which really
Yeah,
was really more black women making slang that then gay black men took, and then the wider world took. You know,
I will say gay black men are a huge part of
mm-hmm.
that because um, I forgot the name of the person who did the and the oop,
Yeah,
but that was a um, drag
yeah.
queen.
You know, the whole and ooh, or even just a GIF of like them just kind of going is like so proliferated throughout all of social media. Yeah,
Jasmine
yeah, yeah.
Masters.
You know, it's like there's so much that black people have done on social media for social media, more so for the discourse of it. And I'm not saying other races don't have their own circles where they have their discourse. I'm sure Indonesian Twitter pops off very hard. Freaking you know, Japanese Twitter, I'm sure it goes crazy. Mexican Twitter's actually Latin American Twitter is pretty funny. Latin Americans have their own weird sense of humor, and I've never been able to fully understand it. And maybe that's for the best. It's not for me, but those guys are weird, and I appreciate that. But
Is it a
there's
language
definitely
barrier
it's a
or it's just
language barrier and a sense of humor barrier that I feel like I still like it's funny, but I have not understood the why it's funny. It's almost like it's just nonsense for nonsense sometimes. Like there was a video of like a guy, and I know it's a Mexican meme. I know it's a Mexican meme of a guy who's like wearing a Sonic the Hedgehog like cosplay. And when I say cosplay, it's really just his entire body, dyed blue with like shorts on and like red slides with socks on, and he's like dancing to like different versions of a Spanish language "You Can't Touch This" by MC Hammer. You know, like yeah, it's
that's
like I don't understand what's happening.
so organic though. That kind of reminds me of the older days of YouTube when people would just
Mm-hmm.
make skits. And I used to watch this group of Latino guys. I think they were Mexican in Southern
Mm-hmm.
California, and they made skits pretty much about their culture, like how Eddie Murphy used to dress up and make like jokes about black people. They would make jokes about Mexicans and their family, like things that would happen
Mm-hmm.
in their family. I don't know, the mom
Yeah.
hitting with the shoe. They would call them like the gay cholo. Like they made so many skits about that. And it was a lot of stuff that I didn't even know about because I haven't been exposed to that. Like I live in Maryland. I live in a mostly black community, so when I was younger, that was like the only exposure I had to like Hispanic people making jokes about what their life was
Mm-hmm.
like or just some common things in their family. It was pretty funny to me. But I guess you could kind of think of it as like how Tyler Perry makes jokes about like our culture. I feel like what Tyler Perry makes isn't so bad. It's just we're tired of it. Like there's not enough diversity. But
Mm,
um I think for our question of was Black Twitter ever a
yes.
cultural shift? I think it was for sure. I think it still can
Hmm.
be, as long as there's some remnants of Twitter. And I think Black culture in different areas can still cause cultural shifts so long as we are not the dominant culture. I think any minority group in America has the ability to cause a cultural
Hmm.
shift, because when you break into the mainstream or make any aspect coming from your group something popular, and like, it causes ripples, you've caused a cultural shift, but you can't already be in the dominant group to like make a shift, because you're not if you're already a decider of the
Hmm.
norm, you're just doing your regular thing, you're not shifting anything. Like a shift is a disruption. So um yeah, we're so cool for that.
Yeah, you know.
Okay, so I definitely want to share a little poem I wrote. um don't laugh, this is a really
Mhm,
short poem. This is just something I had in my
mhm,
mind, but I thought of it with visuals. Don't
mhm.
laugh, don't laugh. But like, also tell me your first thought.
I'm ready.
Are you ready? Okay. This poem is called He Who Is Him. Who? Him. Who is him? He who is him. Hmm. Okay, that was the poem. I laughed, but you're not allowed to laugh. You can
Oh, okay.
breathe.
Um, um, I thought it was a very creative
You want me
expression
to?
of the long used term "I am him." You went into detail about who he may be, or if they even are he. Um, Whoever he is, they sound like a pleasant person to be around.
He explains himself. He is him.
Oh,
Okay. The inspiration for that poem was that Jordan Peele's next horror movie is coming out
mm-hmm.
soon. So, guess the title of his new horror movie.
Him.
You're right, and it debuts in theaters September 19th of 2025.
Mm,
Lord,
Before
please don't make it a thing.
before we continue further, I want to say he's not directing this one. He's merely producing. In the same vein as Monkey Man by Dev Patel, he's merely producing that. Or that other film, Candyman, he only produced that. So this is not a Jordan Peele film. It is merely a production of Monkey Paw Studios. However, he is talking about making his fourth film, his fourth in his little, introspective horror type thing. He hasn't revealed a name. He hasn't revealed what it might be about. All he said was it might be his favorite one yet. So take that for what you will.
It's gonna be like an essay, okay?
Yeah,
But
of
his
course it
movie coming out next year is
is.
directed by Justin Tipping. Justin Tipping is known for hit shows like The Shy, Black Monday, Dear White People, Joe versus Carol.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And this is going to serve as his second feature-length directorial project.
Mm-hmm.
So the Marlon Wayans is going to be in this movie, him, and he's going to play a legendary quarterback who gets tasked with training a rising young athlete at his isolated
Mm-hmm.
compound. So Julia Fox is going to be in it, Tyreek Withers, Tim Heidecker, Jim Jeffries, and
Mm-hmm.
rappers like Wap Dad 4000 and Tierra Whack. So
Hmm.
I don't know about you, but I'm gonna see it. Oh, wait a minute!
I think it look
Monkey
like a.
Man!
Mm-hmm.
You wanted to see Monkey Man, Tay?
I do.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
okay. So for those of you just joining the stream, I'm gonna let you in on some behind the scenes conversation. Tay asked me to a movie, and this movie is Monkey Man. And at first, I was like, why would I want to see a movie called Monkey Man?
Mm-hmm.
And instantly, I thought, oh, remember that Twilight lyric when Rosalie says about Emmett, that's my Monkey Man?
Oh my god.
And everybody in the theater is like, and then the scene when Bella hops on Edward's back and Edward looks back at her, looks back at Bella and says, hang on, Spider Monkey. Like that line with the Spider Monkey, when I was a child, like I was uncomfortable. I was like, did he really have to say that? And as an adult, I'm still just like, like it makes my skin. The stuff they made them say in that movie is still just it's been a cult classic to date. But yeah, Tay, I'll see Monkey Man. Yeah, you know,
Oh,
I'm a
so
Jordan Peele fan, so I gotta. I need to keep up with his cinema. What is it called? Not discography, filmography. Tay, was there any point in your life when you realized you were him?
Okay, Bellz, you know, someone of my stature, I, I can never just be beholden to such, you know, moments of grandeur and delusion. So arrogant to even think such a thing. So one time, right, I actually, when I was in elementary school, I was the only person to kick a goal in soccer. And everybody praised me for the entire day after that. They called me the GOAT and all that. So no, but outside of that, I could never. Also, I learned how to fix a computer once that was not functioning well. I forget what I actually did. I think all I really did was just take out the hard drive and put it back in. But I felt like the hero. I felt like a goat that day. I was him because I learned how to do that in the moment. But no, I could never like even think when I got my driver's license. I thought I was him, but I could never at any point like think in my life that also the one time where I single-handedly saved a Navy event because I had to do so many things at the last minute. I was there by myself and I was like completely like calm under pressure. I was like, I can't believe they made me do this, but look at me doing it right now, getting the job done by myself. I am him, but never could do it.
Oh, okay. I probably shouldn't say this, but I feel like her at least once a week. I feel like her whenever the girls are talking about me. Like one time I was in a Love Island group chat and I had like a piece of gossip that all the girls wanted. And I was like, I'm not gonna tell you. And they were like, you're a gatekeeper. And like they were trying to be so mean and bully it out of me. And I'm just like, this is on my integrity. Like if this person wanted you to know this, they would have told you, but they told me. Like whenever I'm being gossiped about, whenever someone's calling me her, yeah, I'm her. I definitely get on my Beyonce. Like they can't help talking about me. I'm her. But I actually hate it when I'm her because I feel like whenever I'm her, like to others, I'm the villain. Tay, why are you trying not to laugh?
You told me not to.
Okay, I didn't tell you not to.
I'm trying not to.
Thank you for being respectful of that. And for your respect, I will reward you with your own segment. Poetry News with TayDZ.
Did you just give me dinner knowing that I was going to get dinner anyway? You know what? Never mind. Well, it's cool. It's cool. Anyway, hi y'all. It's Poetry News time. I'm TayDZ. This was my segment all along. Do not believe the fake news you can do. Hi. It's me. So
it is him.
It is I. And I is he, and he is him.
Who?
Me.
Him.
Okay, Bell, this is my segment, okay? like, you had the first one, 30-something minutes. It's my turn now.
It was us.
I mean, you're right. It was us. Us is we. So, folks, do you know what being canceled is? I feel like we all have at some point attempted. I feel like at this point we all know canceling and cancel culture. So, do you believe it's real? Do you not? Who knows? I guess everybody has their own opinion on it. Well, Gary Owens, who is a comedian, part of the comedian community, went on Club Shay Shay a day or so ago, and he basically said Kevin Hart can be canceled, but Cat Williams and Dave Chappelle cannot. So, to essentially kind of give the full details of it, he said Kevin Hart is beholden to corporate interests, you know. And keep in mind, he wasn't slandering Kevin or anything. He actually said that Kevin and Kat are two of the nicest people he's ever met. So, like, he has no issues with him. People even brought up the fact that Cat Williams didn't have any personal remarks for Kevin, like said that he hated him or he wished he didn't exist. You know, he just said that Kevin was a sellout and was a corporatist. You know, but Gary Owens said that Kevin has so many business interests, so many movie deals, his own studio. Like, Kevin is Hollywood now. So Kevin can't afford to be cancelable. He can't afford to be canceled, especially since he has a company. There are other people who depend on him. And if he gets canceled, his companies get canceled. That's a bunch of people who might be losing business, losing a job. Whereas he said that Dave and Kat, they're their own brands. I mean, he said Kevin Hart's a brand. Well, he said that Dave and Kat are like they're their own people, like they're their own things. Like, there is no company behind Cat Williams. There's no company behind Dave Chappelle. They just who they are. So if they get canceled, quote unquote, you know, they just go back to doing comedy. Also, he said that their fan bases are different. You know, Dave and Kat's fan bases won't allow them to be canceled because they'll still support them. He said that Kevin's fan base is so broad, you know, it's so big in terms of like who he's pulling in, who he's drawing, that there's a portion of people who probably aren't like super duper big comedian type fans. So they will let Kevin be canceled and be done with him. So I find it kind of interesting that he said that, because you and we actually watched the Cat Williams special that he had on Netflix, and
we did. We gave it a full 20-minute taste. 20 minutes of an hour.
26. We gave it 26.
We drank a quarter of the drink
and put it down. We put the drink down. We didn't even put it back on the coaster. We just said, mm-mm. And we went to go watch the roast of Tom Brady instead. And that was actually, look, if you're not a fan of that type of humor, I'm not going to bash you for it. It's cool. But I thought it was kind of funny. It was very raunchy. It harkened back to the old 2000s Comedy Central roast. That was funny, though. Kevin was the host of that. And Kevin was there when they were saying, like, slurs. They were saying slurs.
They picked the perfect comedian for that because Kevin, he is so Hollywood that he's sort of like a Chris Rock. He's not going to be disagreeable. He's not going to react negatively. And he's so seasoned that he can take pretty much anything those comedians would have said with grace.
And Kevin, he himself didn't say anything off the wall himself. So he can easily fall back on well, I didn't say all that. That was, the rest of them, That was Dana White who said that crazy stuff. That was, I don't remember all their names. Like Jeff Ross who said that. Like Jeff Ross was even the worst one. The worst one, I can't remember all their names. They're part of like that Joe Rogan sphere of comedy a little bit, where they kind of just say whatever the heck they want without any care. There was a lot of bashing of Giselle, and I think she even came out and was like, she felt disrespected by that special.
She was just she was a casualty. I mean, clearly Tom has no feelings left for her. I mean, he didn't even make a joke in defense of her honor. Like, he didn't even play at that.
He didn't try. He didn't
even play at the
the
mother of his children. Like, no.
Like, that part, like, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who will probably sit there and say, oh my gosh, like, Tom, that's the mother of your kids. You can't let them say it about her. But it's also like, well, can we be frank for a second? Let's be frank. Hi, Frank. How are you?
Yeah.
They divorced, and immediately she got with that man, that jiu-jitsu instructor.
Yeah, she was ready. I mean, they were broken up before the divorce was finalized. But Tom Brady did apologize to Giselle for the disparaging jokes at the roast. And she revealed that we've been saying her first name wrong this whole time. So I guess
what is it?
The joke is on all of the comedians who weren't even saying her name right.
What's her name? Gazelle?
I have no idea. She said this on the Conan O'Brien show. Her name is pronounced Gazelle. It's like a long vowel at the end. So they view the E as an I.
Are you kidding me? It's Gazelle. It's Gazelle. She's been in the public limelight for 2-3 decades now, or 2.5 decades, let's say. And in all this time, she just didn't correct anyone. She just was like, yeah.
Maybe she wasn't getting good enough until now.
For 20
I
years?
mean, I think people were saying Rihanna's name wrong for a long time. Like people said Rihanna for a long time.
But see,
Um,
that's different though. Like,
well, it's not
because,
because there's Brianna and Brianna. I mean, I get the spelling is the same and the pronunciation is a choice because of the English language. But like Giselle's name is Brazilian, so of course
but,
there's a Brazilian pronunciation.
but what I mean is like, people were saying Rihanna, but we knew they were wrong immediately. Like, Rihanna was saying her name correctly. Jay-Z was saying Rihanna. Like, we didn't, like, the media, like, there were some people who were calling her Rihanna, but in that same vein, there were people back in the day who used to call, Naruto the show. Well, see, once again, with Naruto, people were like, the show is Naruto, or no, it's Naruto. No, it's Naruto. Like, people were saying the name's wrong a lot, but we knew what the name was. People just didn't want to learn to pronounce it. No, but like this, no, we were all saying her name wrong. Like,
So Taylor Lautner versus Taylor Lautner. Like he finally, said his name. I don't remember the right pronunciation. I should know, but I don't.
or like how the football player, we all call him Tyrod Taylor. It's Tyrod. It's Tyrod Taylor.
It's Tyrod Taylor. I thought it was Tyrod.
No, it's Tyrod. I think it was a thing a year or two ago where it came out that we were all saying his name wrong the whole time. It's Tyrod.
I mean, it seems like people are criticizing her for not appreciating the jokes about her during the roast. On page 6, it says she was disappointed about the jokes of being the butt of so many of the Tom Brady jokes. And, sources tell page 6 exclusively she needs to, quote, get a sense of humor. Everything was in good fun. And she, yeah. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think she has every right to be offended. I mean, I think she was like, it's the roast of Tom, not me. Like, I mean, there were so many jokes. It's not like it was just a few. Like,
also,
it's like she was up there with them, but she wasn't invited to the event. Like,
that's what I'm
Tom
about
Brady
to
was
say.
supposed to be him, but Giselle ended up being her. Like, wait a minute, I thought this was about him, not her.
Right. Like, that's what I'm about to say. Like, it'd be one thing if she was invited, because then she could, like, get on stage and crack back at them. I don't blame her for feeling offended, because it's almost like she wasn't allowed to crack back at him. Like, she's not invited to the roast to, like, drill into them. Because, like, with Kim, right, they drilled into her a bit, but she had a chance to get on stage and drill back.
Right, it was fair. Like, it keeps everything fair game. Maybe they did invite her and she just didn't want to go. Like,
well, then at that point, then that would be on her. And once again, I don't know. To me, it's like, I get why she's upset. I also understand the whole it's just a roast. Like, you got to get over it. But also, I think we as a society do have to realize sometimes, like, we can be hurtful, and it's okay to admit that. Like, it's okay. I feel like that's why people loved it. I know this was about Cat Williams at first, but don't worry, I'll get back to that. But I feel like this is why a lot of people aren't big fans of people like Cat or people like Dave, because they pick a target and they just wail on them, but that target doesn't have a chance to fight back or say anything back. Comedy is at its best when you're punching up. That's why Bugs Bunny works so well, because he's always punching up. Like, Bugs Bunny is fighting the hunter. It's not as funny if Elmer Fudd shoots him in the brain and goes, ha ha ha, I killed the rabbit. Like, it's funnier when Bugs is harassing Elmer or harassing Yosemite Sam. Like, it's basic humor 101. Blackface isn't funny because blackface was used to insult a people of a lower caste, pretty much. Whereas when black people put on whiteface, it flips the insult on its head, and then it becomes funny because you are reversing the role. Role reversal is always funny. It's why old 50s and 40s sitcoms about families, that's why Father Knows Best is not funny, but like the honeymooners, or really, that's why you have a lot of dumb sitcom dads, because the old comedy joke was the role reversal. It used to be the father knows best and the wife was subservient, but role reversal in comedy meant that, and granted it's an old trope, but it meant that the wife became the knower and the father was the moron, but he was too dumb to know he was a moron. He had an inflated sense of self-ego, and that's why you see Peter Griffin and Homer Simpson with Lois Griffin and Marge Simpson, who are infinitely smarter than them. It's why Fred Flintstone has Wilma. Wilma was smarter than Fred. It's why Ralph had I forgot what her name is in freaking Honeymooners, but like you kind of get the gist of there. Like, role reversal is funny. It's humor. It's not funny when you're punching down on the trans.
Ralph and Alice.
Alice, yes. He'd be like, Ralph would say like, Alice, I give you a bop in the face, wherever he'd say, because back in the 50s, freaking punching your wife was funny, I guess. But like, he never did.
What happened in the home? That was in the home.
Yeah, what happens in the home stays at home, all right. Yep. But like, he never actually punched her. Like, you knew he didn't actually mean that. He was just in his feelings because he knew that Alice was right. He knew that Alice would get the last laugh on him because Alice was always right. Mother knows best in some of these instances. Your wife knows better than you. But like, it's not funny when Kat is making a joke about a trans person and the punchline is that they're trans. Like, it's not funny when Kat is making a joke about, a blind kid playing football. Well, first off, by the way, in the special, he uses the original meme. He uses a meme that was already a meme. Like, you're cheating at that point. You're actually cheating, Kat. The joke was already there. The meme is already there. You're reacting to a meme. The joke was made for you, and you're taking the joke and putting it into your routine. That's called cheating. That's not funny.
I definitely thought he was cheating with that, because I feel like it's in the same vein of people making fun of Drake for using ghostwriters for his songs.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody knows that some comedians do use ghostwriters to help them with their set, but it's like, if you have a meme, essentially telling the joke for you, it just felt so cheap. And what he said did not enhance it at all. It did not add to the meme. Like, he just played it, and I guess the audience reacted to it with him. It's like, oh my gosh, Kat, this is coming across as very lazy. Like, you can add props and like technological elements to your stand-up routine, but the heart of stand-up still to this day is the jokes, the comedic writing, the delivery. Like, if it's not going to enhance the joke, don't include it.
Yeah. Like, you're not enhancing the joke. You're not saying anything that's funny. You're just sort of repeating what somebody already said.
He didn't. I mean, to me, the first 20 minutes that we watched, Kat didn't really say anything that I remembered. It didn't really give me a new way of thinking about anything. Like, there were no aha, so funny moments there. And that's kind of what I enjoy about Dave Chappelle's humor. When he talks about controversial topics, he's kind of like allowing you to think about something differently with him. Or like, it was not that with Kat. Like, I was not woke. Oh God.
Woke folk. Like, he made, the difference between Kat and Dave is that when Kat makes a when Dave makes a whole special that's about like, fighting back against the woke, as obnoxious and so dumb as that trope is in comedy now, at least Dave is funny, and at least Dave
tells jokes. Like this
Yeah,
is
like,
a commentary in the Cat Williams character. Like he sometimes
hmm
when he's on stage, it's like he's playing a character of like Still the Pimp or Cat. But it's like we
hmm
need more than that if you're going to make an attempt at being controversial.
yeah, like we need something to laugh at, Cat, instead of you just going, "Oh, they might cancel me for this one." Ooh, did you know that this person was born a boy? They want to use the girl's bathroom. Ooh, they might cancel me for that one. Ooh, like that's not a joke, Cat. That's just an observation with like no, it's just an observation. Hey, these blinds, they're looking pretty white, a little off-white to me.
Yeah, I mean, could you tell a funny story? Like, a funny story is a great place to start.
Yeah, like, and then Cats fans will come in and they'll say, "You guys just don't understand. Like, you guys are just like completely blindsided. Oh, Cat's trying to tell you the truth. He's trying to tell you the truth. He's trying to tell you the truth, guys. He's understanding. He's trying to tell y'all something. Then go be a motivational speaker. If you want to be a comedian, make a joke when you're telling me something. Otherwise, you're just trying to give a speech. Which, kudos to you if you want to, but don't call it a comedy special. God knows.
Honestly, I think a lot of Chris Rock's, I won't say a lot of, but Tambourine, I kind of felt like that was a commentary. But the way Chris Rock says things and how, like, introspective he can be, it still made it engaging. And then he was telling jokes along the way, so it kept it alive.
Yeah.
But I feel like black comics, or the black comics who talk about serious topics, sometimes their specials can come across as a social commentary, but they use their skill of comedic writing to keep you engaged. But I have another poem, so I guess we're about to get to another little comedic spot in our show. Thanks so much for the poetry news, Tay. But step aside. It's my time to give you a performance of beat poetry. This was written in the style of stream of consciousness. It's called Driving in the Car. Black car, I'm insured. I must drive carefully. Saw an SUV on its side. It's dangerous out here. Before my skin was in, I sped merrily. I whipped carelessly and kept getting lucky. Now I'm trying to practice gratefulness. Thank God people help me. They see me as worthy, even while I avoid myself as worthless. I like driving until I remember it's a lot of responsibility. When I need a break, my instinct will go dirty, and I'll stunt like David Banner showed me. Bellz. Thank you, TayDZ.
Wow. Okay.
Stunting is a habit. Get like me.
God, never seen a Chevy with a butterfly nose. Yeah.
There's a habit. Just gotta have it.
Shawty be throwing the thing on me and gotta. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know about you, but I got something on my Google feed about an I Am Legend 2 trailer, and then I watched it, and I realized it's fan made.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, ooh, I've seen these clips before. Like, I haven't seen a lot of Michael B. Jordan movies, so like those clips I didn't recognize, but I was just like, I've seen like this is fan. But you know what? Then I became very encouraged because I remember the days of YouTube when I would go on there and see fan made trailers of things, like fan made
Mhm.
trailers of Twilight. People still make fan made trailers of like their romance book series. Like
Mhm.
um, there's a fan made film of The Witcher
Mhm.
right before they made it into a big Netflix production. So it kind of like was a throwback to, oh yeah, people made fan made stuff, and it was before you had like these fan cams of like K-pop and whatever. I mean, I still see I guess you could say fan cams of my favorite reality shows. Like people make them, but they're called fan cams now, or like just
Mhm.
fan videos of like scenes from like Vampire Diaries, Love Island. Like I feel when I witness it, it's a fangirl thing, and it's a short clip of just like moments. But yeah, that was a nice throwback. I don't really know if they're ever going to make an I Am Legend 2. I don't think it's going to live up to the first. The sequel hardly ever does. But with Will Smith's reputation still marred,
Mhm.
I think I'd have to catch it on streaming.
Mm, I believe we are getting an I Am Legend too, and I know Michael B. If this being made, then he's likely gonna be in it. The issue is that no, that trailer was a fake that was a fan
Deep
made trailer.
fake, deep fake. But it's
Deep.
so cool. It's so cool that there are still fans so invested in that first movie that they're making that stuff. Like, what has it been, 20 years?
Shoot, almost about like 15 or so.
Oh,
It came out like in two.
2007 is when it came out.
Yeah,
So
so about like seven. It's been like what 17
17
years.
years.
Mhm. But yeah, it's been a minute. The movie was really good. It's like Will had this moment in like the 2000s where he was just in these really good character driven movies where it was almost like he was the only character, but like and like obviously some of them he wasn't, but like kind of like he was like, and there's this Don, what was it, The Pursuit of Happiness.
Yeah.
There was like two characters in that. It was him and his son. Everyone else was kind of like there from like 5 seconds at that. But like it was a film about isolation. He was isolated from literally almost everything. I Am Legend, Isolation. What's the movie he had? Oh my gosh, it was another movie. It was another movie. Hancock. The movie was about him
Ah,
feeling lonely. Like
yeah.
he felt like he was like the only person of his type until he found someone like him. Like, Will was just he was playing these bangers. Like Will's a great actor. He's a very good actor. And one of Will's best qualities as an actor is he just makes you feel like, I know every actor does that, but like there's something about Will where he's so powerful. He plays the characters that are so powerful, but they're so hurt and they're so lonely. He just does really good with characters like that. And so I think that's why I Am Legend resonates so well with people. Like it just his character, I forgot what his name, he was like a doctor, but like he was so good. It was so good. And I think we've all been waiting for a sequel. Well, I think some have been waiting for a sequel. I think others have been like, no, respect the ending, which they're making a sequel based on the alternate ending, which is the one where Will's character lives. But in the version that we got in theaters, Will's character didn't live. He sacrificed himself against the zombies.
Right, for the cure. I mean,
Yeah.
with the original ending, I guess you could pick up where like the girl and her son like have delivered the cure to the base, and it would have to be a movie without Will Smith or like without his character.
Mm-hmm.
but Neville is what made the first movie, so it
Yeah,
wouldn't really make a great movie to go with the original ending.
right. I don't think if they're making a sequel, I don't think they're going to not have Will's Dr. Neville. I think we're getting a movie based on the alternate ending, and Dr. Neville is going to be there with Michael B's character, which is fine. Personally, I don't mind that. I really don't mind that.
Can we just take a moment to look at the difference in technology? Like, this was CGI in 2007.
Oh man,
This looks so good 17 years ago. Now this looks like a video game character. Like, it does.
it looks like a PS3 cutscene.
Yeah. I mean, I remember when I first watched I Am Legend, like, I could barely get through I mean, granted, 17 years ago, I was like 8. But I was crying. It was difficult for me to watch that. Like, it was definitely not for kids. But the way these creatures moved around too. Hold on, I'm going to share this picture. This is where can you see it? Oh wait, no, you can only see Will Smith's face.
Maximize it, like make it smaller. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
So you can see like the way his mouth is freaking moving, like this character's jaw is like broken. I don't know. I was like so heartbroken at the end when Will Smith was trying to show him, look, like, I've cured her, but he was so like lost in his disease and enraged. But then here's this picture. I think this picture's from the alternate ending, and this is when like he goes in and realizes that like Neville cured her, and he picks her up and like tries to take her. But like, do you see his face? Like, look, he has like no teeth in his mouth. Like, I was just interested to see in I Am Legend 2 the improvement of the technology. But
it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing how CGI has changed. Even just even in 2007 CGI looks so different from 97 CGI. And then you look at 2007 CGI compared to 2017, and it's like, wow, what a jump.
This is like a pivotal scene when he's breaking the glass. Like, this was all of the suspense, really, of that final scene. Like, oh my gosh, are they gonna get away? Yeah. So I Am Legend 2, I'm definitely open to it. I would watch it for sure.
Me too. I'd watch it. I'd watch a sequel to any of Will's 2000s movies. I think he was just on a good streak in the 2000s. I really think he was.
Yeah, and in the 2010s, that was kind of like his flop moment, because he had that movie After Earth in 2013. That movie, I think he was with Jaden as well.
Yeah.
I was hyped to see that movie, and that movie was a flop. Like, that's one of his worst movies. It's got a 4.8 on IMDb.
Bottom five Will Smith movie. It's actually kind of crazy. There's Will's 2000s run was legendary. It's really legendary. Even like when you look back at his Muhammad Ali, he was nominated for 2 Best Actors Oscars. Only reason he just never won the only reason why he never won was because 2 people just did so much better than him in those years. I think Will's Muhammad Ali, he lost to, I think, was it Training Day, or was it Antoine Fisher, or was it Denzel, I think? Hold up, 2002.
What year are you talking about?
Best Actor Oscar. 2002. Denzel won the Academy Award for Best Actor. Let me see what movie.
No, in what movie?
I know, I'm trying to find it. Training Day.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was like he played a good villain. King Kong ain't got on me, you know. Yeah, yeah, that was him. But yeah, Will lost that year to Denzel, and Will lost the Oscar. His next bid, it was Pursuit of Happiness. I think 2007 Best Actor Oscar. That went to Forrest Whitaker for Last King of Scotland when he played Idi Amin.
Dang. And then Will got the award for King Richard.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that was the night where he was banned from the Academy because he slapped Chris Rock. Ain't it
Yeah, he went
crazy?
so crazy. He went so crazy after that.
Crazy.
Okay, well, on that crazy note, that's our show. Thank you so much, TayDZ, for doing Poetry Slam with me, Bellz. We'll be back next weekend at 9 with more poetry, and Napoleon B might will join us. So, I'm Bellz.
And I'm TayDZ.
Subscribe to Poetry Slam on X, YouTube, Instagram. Poetry Slam with 2 M's. Good night.
Good night.